Hey, hey everybody.
Hey!
What do we got here? We got Piggy Pop. Hey, hi Cooper. Hey Keith. Hello Maat.
Hello.
Hello Emma. Hey Kevin. Hey Jordan. How is everyone doing tonight? Oh, thanks Keith. 50 years old now. It's unbelievable.
Tibbs is here too.
Yeah, we got Tibbs waiting to cause some trouble.
Did anything awesome happen for y'all this week?
Yeah, who's got good news? I got some good news. I got this showed up. Hey Chuck, thanks. I'm currently in deep negotiations with my cat on whether he will allow me to draw during the cooldown. It's not looking good. Yeah, it's always pretty brutal negotiations with these guys. So I got this in the mail, I guess like on Monday or Tuesday. And here's the original art for it.
Do you know how it's pronounced? Is it Crowley or Crowley?
I think it's Count Crowley. Okay. I'm pretty sure that's how Das Melchin has pronounced it.
Okay.
And I think I pronounced Das Melchin correctly. I self-published my first book. Ooh!
Congratulations,
it's a riddle art
Jordan.
Book. It only has one riddle, but lots of art. That's freaking awesome. I will be illustrating a paleontology book for mid-grade readers, written by a paleontologist. Oh my gosh, that sounds so fun. That sounds
Yay,
really
Emma.
fun.
Yeah, that does sound like a really good time. And you're getting paid for it.
That's a sweet cover. What medium did you do it with? Watercolor? No, this is actually, I think this is all ink. I think, well, it's ink. You know what? I posted this on Kara just a minute ago, and I said that it was ink and acrylic gouache. Oh, yeah, there is. There is some acrylic gouache. So,
how can you tell?
You can kind of tell from the texture of it. So everything is ink. The white is ink, but the red is acrylic gouache, and it's kind of hard to see. But I did like ink splatter, and it turned out really dark, like it was not red. So I had to go in with an opaque acrylic gouache to do the blood. That's
but
the blood on her
face. That you
face.
left the dark red on the outside.
Yeah, leave a little bit of the outline of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, so the red spots were acrylic gouache, but everything else is ink. Kind of a rare one for doing everything in ink. Every once in a while, it just works out best that way. Especially like if I airbrush the entire thing first, which I think I did for this. I think I did the green airbrush all the way down and then went back in and painted it. Hey, Edie.
Hey, Edie. Easy going.
Yeah, you're gonna do
demonstrator.
You're gonna do great, Emma. I hope you have a ton of fun. Thanks, Kevin. Yeah, these greens I think look so pretty, and they look really pretty on my screen from the camera, and they just kind of toned down. Like they didn't do enough yellow, I think. So the greens turned a little bit bluish. You can really see it like between these two areas.
Yeah.
Just a little bit lighter and a little bit bluer than I wanted. This looks funny. Like her arm matches up with the big arm. Thing matches up.
Come here, Tibbs. Let me show you off before you leave.
Thanks, Cooper. Yeah, I'm actually really happy with how her hair turned out.
Tibbs is about to leave. Can I show her off?
Yeah. Do you want to say hi to Tibbs?
There she is.
Barely.
She wanted that attention anyway. Now I wonder if she'll stay for a little bit longer.
So I was originally had planned on doing more B.P.R.D. More on that B.P.R.D. question, but I have a convention to go to tomorrow and am already kind of exhausted from today, so I figured I would do something a little less brain work.
Hi, Max. Hi, Ellie. Hi, Rudak.
Oh, hey,
Hi,
Rudak.
Dylan.
Hey, yeah, Dylan. Count Crawley is a supernatural. She's the mediocre midnight monster hunter. It's written by David Dastmalchian and drawn by Lucas Kettner. Lucas has popped in here a couple times on previous streams. And it is about a... What is it about? This lady...
Don't give it all away.
Is like a TV, like a late night TV horror show host, but she also is comes from a long line of monster hunters and gets sort of roped into doing monster hunting stuff.
So she's like if
But
Elvira.
She's sort of like an Elvira type character, but then she's not very good at it.
And Elvira would be really good at it.
Yeah, Elvira would be good at it.
Megalithic megatonic mod. Yeah, I don't know what either one of those words mean, but they sound badass.
Yeah, Chuck points out that the first arc had her dealing with her alcoholism, which is cool and interesting.
Yeah, I'm interested in a superhero that has that going on.
So the inking for today is some Adam Warren, and Warren is awesome. Like, I really like his book. Oh my gosh, it starts with an I.
I have no idea. What's this person's name again?
Yeah, Jordan. David Dastmalchian is the Late Night with the Devil guy. Oh yeah, that is also about a TV host, huh? I haven't seen it yet, but yeah, no, they are. I think they're sort of only tangentially related. Like, I don't think they're related in any real way. The Late Night with the Devil and Count Crawley aren't related. Oh, and I wanted to show off my birthday hat I got.
Oh, such a good hat.
It says comic books on it.
Tell me what this person's name is so I can look them up.
It's made by a company called B.P.R.D. Oh, Adam Warren. So here's the page. And
Empowered?
Huh? Yeah, Empowered. It starts with an E, not an I.
Yeah.
Empowered. But Empowered is really fun. Really fun book. Yeah, Cooper's got it. I liked his Empowered book. But look at his penciling on this. You can see, like, he worked out a grid to draw these guns. Like, on this one, you can kind of see there's a little bit of a perspective grid he drew just around the gun. Because the guns are, like, so, like, perfectly realized to be, like, 3D objects. They're like, I always hate saying that guns are beautiful, but these are drawn very beautifully. And look at this hand. Like, this hand is just drawn really beautifully. So good. He does a thing, it's like definitely manga inspired, but his women's faces always remind me of those little elf people from the Dark Crystal.
Yeah.
And we got a couple people who inked this. Gary Martin and some Al Gordon. Randy Emberlin. And then Adam Warren inked himself here, and I think he actually did the best job of everybody on it, which is probably no surprise. Gelflings, yeah, they do remind me of Gelflings.
Which has elf in it. I never got that.
So maybe I'll start off by inking some panel borders using my guy. I haven't.
What guy?
Using my, I forget what this is called, a liner pen, I think. This thing is pretty great. It's like it's just this little tiny bucket with a itty bitty pipe coming out the end. And it makes a really kind of thick but very uniform line. This is what I usually ink my panel borders with. The book I'm working on right now, I'm actually not inking panel borders, I'm just masking them all. And so I haven't gotten to use this guy in a while. Oh,
What?
Just occurred to me, if I use it now, I'm gonna have to run off and clean it before I can start inking.
I could be the one that runs off and cleans it.
I have a whole method.
Process.
We'll hold off on the panel borders, maybe. We must drain the Gelfling's essence. Try to get this centered a little better. Yeah, Jim Henson is, or was, or remains super amazing. All the stuff he did was really kind of unbelievable. Because it's not like, I mean, I'm sure he was inspired by a million things, but like, nobody else did what Jim Henson did, so it's like he really...
And he was persistent until he could do it and get on TV.
I picked up some Dowler Raleigh FW ink. That stuff is fire. Yeah. Yeah, I love this stuff. I have to say though, like, the black ink I've been using very recently has been kind of a pain in the butt. It just hasn't it separates, like, over the course of the day, just working, it will thin out. Like seems like all the pigment drops to the bottom or something. I don't know. So I feel like they've changed their formula recently. But it's still great. It hasn't been a big enough problem for me to like think about trying to find anything different because it's still my favorite.
Oh, I haven't watched the Jim Henson documentary yet, but I did hear it's really good.
Those are hard. I haven't watched the Jim Henson one, and like there's that
Mr. Rogers one.
Yeah, there's a Mr. Rogers one that I don't think I'll like. I have to, if I ever watch that, I'll have to like plan to take a week off to recover.
Maybe it's for one of those times like I really need to cry. I can't cry. Pull that documentary out. What would Jim Henson do? That's a good question for when you get stuck writing. It's reminding me of those Jesus bracelets.
Yeah.
A couple of weeks ago, someone was having a hard time with their video and couldn't like the video. P.S. Like the video if you like it. And Pippi's having a hard time, and I can't remember what it was. It was something to do with the chat window. Does anybody remember?
Do they just need to reload the web page or something?
I think that I don't know. I don't know.
So, I started a Kara account last week and have been having so much fun posting stuff over there. If anybody is interested in following me over there, it's great. It's a great place to look at art. And there was a lot of sort of technical problems as they figured out how to upscale. They went from having like 40,000 users to having, they might be at 1 million now. Oh, that's so weird, Pippi.
This is the exact thing that happened a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah, I vaguely remember
and it
that.
was totally something to do with the chat box. Hit the X, Pippi, Keith says.
The mini mass exodus to Kara.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's so many people. Like I'm still posting on Instagram, and I don't plan on getting rid of my Instagram account right now. But before I post anything on there, I'm running it through Nightshade, which is a like an anti-AI filter. And what it does is it I don't know exactly how it works, but what it does is it poisons the AI training. So if you draw a picture of a hat, it will convince the AI that a hat looks like a car. So then when someone tells the AI, like, generate me a picture of a hat, it'll draw them a picture of a car instead. So that's what I'm doing with that. But it takes forever. It takes about between like 4 and 9 minutes to process an image. So I'm not like posting just random stuff for fun on there anymore, which is a huge bummer. But I don't know what else to do. Someone did a test of those two anti-AA programs and tried running it through an AI program, and it was still able to figure out the subjects and compositions. I suspect that it's gonna be an arms race, Keith. I also suspect that I don't know, people who are like super pro AI would lie about that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
I don't have a very high opinion of generative AI people.
ED said he uses a coffee frother when his ink separates, or when he adds water after it gets too thick from evaporating. What is a coffee frother?
I don't know.
Do you see Kevin's question underneath Edie's comment? It's a little bit
No.
up. Kevin said, or asked, have you always used an ink brush, or did you use micron pens or some other inking materials?
You know, I never really used microns. Like I actually use microns kind of regular, but never as like the main tool. I used rapidograph pens for a long time before I was doing comics professionally. And I used like brush pens for a long time. I actually used those Faber-Castell Pitt brush pens for a long, long time. And I do not know how I used those for as long as I did, because they're really kind of terrible. But they kind of trained me. So I used that to learn how to use as like a stepping stone to learning how to ink with a brush. But all of my professional stuff has been either a brush or a nib. Like when I did Bad Blood, that was actually almost all nib.
Do you mind if I go get the Bad Blood book and
Sure.
see the difference?
Shouldn't be able to see very much difference. I tried to use my nib a lot like it was a brush. It's a milk frother for hot milk.
I don't even know what a milk frother is.
That's like a... Is that thing on the front of an espresso machine that like goes... What is the name of the artist Tyler's inking? It is Adam Warren. He is best known for his book Empowered, and before that, in the 90s, he did a book called Dirty Pair. I don't know the story about Dirty Pair. I think it was licensed from a Japanese publisher.
Yeah, I can't tell the difference between your brushwork and your nib work.
So here's Bad Blood that I did almost all with a nib. And it was like you can kind of see it on like some of this stuff that it's a nib, but maybe only I can see that it's a nib. And then I went back with a brush and spotted the blacks and stuff.
Did you use the brush to make the thick lines around the outside, or did you do a nib for that too?
Yeah, no, I used a brush for the thicker lines.
Okay.
But like, I don't know. Now that I'm looking at this, maybe I'm misremembering because like this panel looks like it's all brush to me. This is my first painted book. And yeah, like so like this stuff, like this panel is like all nib. With the exception of the spot blacks. Bad Blood.
People are talking about milk frothers and making chocolate milk in it. This thing, it sounds self-explanatory. It froths milk, this thing, but I don't think I've ever seen one. I don't know how it does it.
It's gotta be...
like, is it just they give you a straw and you blow bubbles in it? Is that a milk frother?
Michaela, is that how you pronounce your name? Crook says, I have the complete single issues of Harrow County, but I don't know the correct way to pronounce Harrow.
Yeah.
It's pronounced Harrow.
Yeah.
Of course, now I'm overpronouncing it. Harrow.
Harrow County.
I guess the proper pronunciation is like Harrow County.
Oh, yeah.
Harrow County.
Now I'm afraid to talk because I can feel my tongue flattening out. Like I'm gonna do.
You can feel the accent coming back.
North Carolina accent, yeah.
Mott's from North Carolina originally.
And my accent was so thick that when I moved to California, people had to ask me all the time to repeat what I was saying because they couldn't understand what I was saying. And one of my jobs I don't know, like 6 years after moving to California, was to be a public speaker. So I worked really hard on trying to be understood. But I feel it coming back every time I get tired or when I used to drink. I come back thick. Ed posted a picture on his Instagram just so that I have a visual example. Okay, I'm going to look at this thing.
Oh, I guess we could have just Googled it too.
Yeah. Oh, dang it. For some reason, I'm logged out of Instagram on my laptop. Oh, I have seen these things. It looks like those little hand blenders, but the bottom part has a spool of springs around it. I never knew what those things were. I guess I just thought it was a different type of hand blender.
Yeah, and using that for ink. That seems like potentially really messy.
Is it messy, Edie?
Oh, your mic might be blocked by your computer there.
Oh, sorry, y'all. How's that? Is this
My father
blah,
was
blah,
from
blah,
West
blah, blah,
Virginia and had the Appalachia accent, so I'd be able to understand you just fine. There was a thing I saw on BlueSky the other day where somebody said that they were watching a YouTube video, and the YouTube guy was like, if you've been on the internet in the last couple of years, then you've probably heard of the Appalachian Mountains.
Yes. All right.
And
Kevin
it's still
says,
just weird.
I sound better, but
Sounds
didn't
better.
say good. So I'm going to put this in my pocket like you have yours in your pocket. How about now? Blah, 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 blah. That's better.
I'll have to try one of those milk frother.
Yeah, Edie says it's super easy messy if you're not careful. He transfers the ink to a small jar just to cut down on the splatter factor. Oh yeah, we have plenty of mason jars for you.
That sounds too big.
But with with the small mouth?
I haven't done this in a while, but I used to.
Kevin says this sounds great. Awesome. That's what I will do from now on, y'all. Thank y'all.
This is my DIY frother, which is
a paper
clip. I used to do this a lot, and I haven't done it in a long time, where I would bend it up so that it's like this, and then you can sort of stick it down into the jar and go whoop, whoop,
and spin it with your fingers.
And just spin it
Maybe
like
that's
this.
what a frother does.
I think that's basically the same deal. But this is my DIY frother if you want to save $1. Because it fits like right inside my jar, my inkwell, just perfect.
That's exactly what a frother does. Oh, thanks, y'all. In my 50s and learning new stuff all the time.
Froth the milk before the ink.
Good call, Rudak. You could have been the inventor of the frother, honey.
I could have. We could have been. That could have been our ticket out of here.
Yeah. Or to being more secure, financially secure at least, we could stay here.
No, are you kidding me? If we were rich, no one would ever hear from us again.
Did you label one frother for ink and one frother for your coffee? ED?
Man, Adam Warren is like a really, really tight penciler.
What makes a tight penciler?
A tight penciler is someone who pencils in a way where every line is like a one-to-one with how the ink should go. Like when I pencil, I'm making up a lot of stuff as I ink, but it's like the thickness of each line is sort of really defined, and all the details are like very well realized. Like her tiny belt buckle is like fully worked out in 3D space, you know? It's like when I pencil, I do not do that stuff in my pencils. And I try to leave room to make up some inking stuff as I make up some stuff as I ink.
But then sometimes that can lead to mistakes.
Yes, it can.
And then happy accidents.
Yeah, for me, mostly it like lets things be a little bit more lively.
So for this one, are you feeling less lively, more restrained?
Yeah, kinda. Probably shouldn't. Probably should just be thinking about like inking it however the hell I want it,
because this is comic book cool.
Because no one's paying me for this. I'm just doing this for fun.
Edie says that mistakes have happened between using the ink frother with the milk frother.
No. That's you have to come up with strict processes. Like a very important one for my workflow is that drinks are on the left-hand side, ink and paint is on the right-hand side, and you never mix that up once you work that out. Because if you ever put the drinks on the right-hand side, you're in trouble.
Have you though?
I have. The worst thing I ever did was when I was doing some oil painting, and I loaded up a brush with some phthalo blue, and then wanted to do something else with a different brush, and I went to put the brush in my mouth, like the end of my mouth, to hold it, and I put the end with the paint in my mouth.
And is phthalo blue one of the toxic ones?
I don't think it's toxic, but it is very, very staining. And it was just like I had a mouthful of oil paint and was like, oh.
I actually remember this.
Do you remember that? Ugh.
Edie said Jim Lee is a super tight penciler, and so is David Finch.
Yeah. I was just watching some David Finch inking videos on that Proco channel. He's been doing some stuff with them. And yeah, he's really good. And he's good at explaining what he's doing too.
Rudak says, I first fell in love with John Byrne, inked by Terry Austin, Art Adams, and Michael Golden. They heavily influence my drawing, but as I age, I'm enjoying much looser styles. It's a struggle to break the overly detailed habit.
Yeah. Yeah. Like, I always like John Byrne's stuff when he inked himself. There was like, and I think it was always super like a lot looser than when Terry Austin was inking him. And I think it was probably because he was writing and penciling and inking like 2 books a month or 3 books a month at the time. So he was like he had to be really loose with it. Man, the fold in these pages is always just like such a bummer. I wish they had some way to ship these flat.
Mm-hmm. Seem to do a pretty good job considering. And the paper's nice enough quality. It's not doing a bleed along that line. It doesn't look like.
Yeah. Paper's okay. It's not my favorite paper.
Mm-hmm. And it says her dinosaur stuff is getting more and more detailed, and it gets harder to go back to a less detailed style for her comics.
Yeah, like it's just when styles like evolve, like dinosaurs. Um,
Evolve into chickens.
when they evolve into chickens, it's like it's really hard to just to control that kind of. There's just like ways of working that start to feel more natural and better. And it's like I have definitely started slowing down in my like how I work. Like it's starting to take a lot longer. And I don't know. I don't know if there's anything I can do about that.
Or anything you want to do about it.
Or anything I want to do about it.
You have
Actually,
worked on trying to streamline things.
yeah,
But,
I'm sort of always trying to streamline stuff, but
yeah.
even with all of that, it still seems like I'm getting slower. Today was a great day, though. I actually finished my page quota like really early. Like I was done at like 4:30 or something today, which was very rare. And I used to like do the thing where it's like, oh, if I finished a page early, it would give me a chance to work ahead a little bit. But and this is probably why I'm slowing down. It's because nowadays, if I finish early, that means I get to reward myself for being finished early.
It means you get to, like, be a responsible human being
And
and
I
take
get to
some
take
time
care
off,
of myself.
the rest of the night off. Yeah. Burnout is real.
Yeah.
And hurts so much. Keith asks, what do you do to reward yourself? We watch some DS9.
Yeah.
You go get ice cream.
Do the dishes.
Do the dishes to reward yourself.
Mm-hmm.
That's such a that I have never thought to myself, oh, you know what? I deserve to do the dishes. We get it done, but it's always a chore for me. Yeah, DS9 is
Good.
Yeah, it was my favorite until Lower Decks, and then but but it's still a favorite, a big favorite. Oh, Deep Space Nine, Star Trek. It's from the 90s. It was the first time that Star Wars wasn't
Star Trek.
Star Trek. Oh boy, there's some people I pissed off there. It was the first Star Trek where people weren't driving around in a ship. It was just a stationary location. You're welcome. It's really good.
Yeah, I think I always.
I'm not the only one that thinks that it's one of the better Star Treks. I hear a lot of people saying that.
I think it's probably my favorite Star Trek now.
Even better than Lower Decks?
I love Lower Decks, but Lower Decks is like different. Lower Decks is kind of about Star Trek, if that makes any sense.
Yeah.
And while DS9 is Star Trek, but Lower Decks actually like tries to thread the needle and be both about Star Trek and be Star Trek. And they do a really good job.
Yeah. Yes, Edie pointed out that Captain Benjamin Sisko, he wasn't even a captain at first. He was
Commander.
He didn't become a captain until after they got a ship.
Yeah, that's right.
But Benjamin Sisko was the first black lead, and in the Star Trek, he was the first lead to be a parent and show a real.
He's the first captain or whatever.
Yeah, to show, and he was a single parent.
Yeah, that's like.
And they showed a real loving relationship. It wasn't distanced.
That's why Sisko is like such a good captain. Is he's like one of the most human of them. Like he like we watched the episode we watched last night. He was being a bad boyfriend, and like yes. He was like, I can't remember the actor's name, but he did just such a good job of being like a bad boyfriend. Like he didn't want to commit to his girlfriend. Like he was scared, and just like his performance was perfect.
Avery Brooks.
Yeah.
And then, Cooper points out about Rom. There were actually a lot of there were a lot of good dads. There are a lot of good dads in DS9 because there's Rom, the Ferengi alien, who's a really good dad.
Hello, Hero F today. Hero today.
And then so besides Sisko and Rom, there was also is he Scottish or Irish? O'Brien.
He's Irish.
Yeah. Is that the first human interracial relationship in Star Trek?
Feels like that might have been the first marriage.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I should have said marriage. Yeah,
I think that might have been the first marriage at all. For
like a main character.
For like someone who's a member of Starfleet. Yeah, main character. He's in Starfleet. I don't know though. I love Star Trek, but I probably would not call myself a Trekkie.
I don't mind it.
I don't mind it. I just am not like obsessed with like all of the.
I think you can
the lore, getting everything right. Stuff.
Oh yeah. Well, one of the things that I like to tell people in D&D, like people that are afraid to DM, the people that wrote the book, that wrote the rules, don't even get the rules right all the time. So I'm not so afraid of getting things wrong. Even if I am a fan of Star Trek, I'm gonna get things wrong. Yeah, Cooper, the first interracial kiss between humans was Kirk and Uhura.
Kirk was a hound.
Yeah.
Yeah, the original series is probably my least favorite.
Like, as far as nostalgia goes, I know that it's important to a lot of people, but thinking critically about the episodes and the portrayals, even though I value things about the original series, yeah, it's not my favorite. There's a lot of better written, better portrayed episodes and other things.
Enterprise
That
was better than I expected it to be, but I honestly could not sit through that fucking song. That theme song was just so terrible.
Yeah, they never did talk about Kirk's space STIs. It was not something, but they would talk about it in Lower Decks.
It's been a long road, yeah. Oh, so bad. Emma's gonna sing the whole song to us.
Yes, Emma is doing the whole song for us, one
That's so cruel.
line at a time. Chuck says the original series is my fave, just because it set up Wrath of Khan.
Yeah.
And the rerun nostalgia is pretty great. Yeah. Oh my gosh, when I was a kid and the Wrath of Khan, that bug crawled into that guy's ear. Oh my gosh, so freaky.
I think when I saw that, that was probably the scariest thing I'd ever seen in a movie.
It wasn't the scariest thing I had ever seen in a movie. I had seen a lot of scary movies, but it stuck with me. Emma says the opening sequence to the Enterprise TV show is so good, but the song is just awful. But the song is stuck in my head. I know the words, even though it was this terrible John Cougar Mellencamp thing.
Do not insult John Cougar Mellencamp like that. I don't know who wrote that song.
I think it was like one of the writers from the show.
Oh.
Or the showrunner or something. It
was
might somebody.
You might be confusing it with, because I know Firefly was like that. The theme song was written by
Joss Whedon.
Joss Whedon.
I'll find out. I got the internet at my fingertips.
So tomorrow I'm going to go to Books with Pictures Con, which is going to be my first time tabling at an event since 2019.
Yeah.
So like 4.5 years or something. So if you're in Portland, swing by. 10 a.m. to 7 p.m. I'm going to try to stay the whole day, but who knows? It's also supposed to rain a little bit tomorrow, so I don't know how that's going to work out. Because it's an outdoor event at the comic shop Books with Pictures. A song like Final Countdown, but the musicians haven't heard Final Countdown. I feel like actually my theory is, when did Enterprise come out? It was like in 2000 or 2001.
Yeah, maybe. Or late 90s? Oh, 2001, honey. Oh my gosh,
Yeah.
good call.
So I think that theme song was sort of informed by September 11th, or at least by George W. Bush's election, where people were like, I think the producers probably thought they needed to do something that would like appeal to middle Americans or whatever.
Like, did it come out? No, it would have. All that stuff would have been written before September 11th
That's
happened.
true.
But okay, do you know who performed the song?
No, I don't.
Rod Stewart.
Really?
That according to Wikipedia.
He like had to take a break from his trains.
Oh wait, nope. Correction. Totally correction. It's a song written by Diane Warren and performed by Rod Stewart for the soundtrack of the 1998 film Patch Adams.
What?
Yes.
It's not even an original
According
song
to
for
Wikipedia. And then it says it was also recorded by English tenor Russell Watson for the use as the opening theme to the 2001 television series Star Trek Enterprise.
What the hell?
I'm checking chat to see if anybody has any other information. So far, we got no one giving better information than Wikipedia.
Patch Adams.
Patch Adams. That actually
that's
more
scandalizing
that
to me.
is
Like,
scandalizing, but also I'm all okay. Yeah, like that song was terrible. I could see it being in Patch Adams.
well, the fact that they like wouldn't commission like an original song at all is like somehow upsetting.
It actually made it to the Billboard Adult Contemporary charts.
Wow.
1999. Where were we in 1999?
You're in San Diego. Nile Street.
Okay.
Because that's where we were for Y2K.
Were we?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. So it's contemporary of its time, which is so untrek-like, says ED. But the or was it? Because
yeah, I think that's kind of the thing with all of Treks is that they're of their time.
The theremin use for the original series, that seems of its time, very of its time.
Oh yeah, Kevin, Books with Pictures Con in Portland, Oregon.
Starts at 10, goes until 7 p.m. Pacific time. Oh, but Cooper says the whole Xindi season in Enterprise was a response to September 11th.
Yeah, I saw that.
Emma will be at SummerCon in Washington State, not this weekend, but the next weekend.
Oh. That's fun. I'm kind of excited. Like I haven't like I said, I haven't done this in 4 or 5 years, and it's doing conventions was something that I really enjoyed before COVID, in moderation. But it was, yeah, I've kind of missed it. I think what I missed more than anything was the traveling, though. I think that was the fun part, not necessarily the tabling part of the conventions.
Just getting to see new places and
Getting to
people
see,
that we haven't seen in a long time or only seen online. Yeah.
yeah, like traveling and doing conventions is always really fun because it's like a really weird combo of like um, seeing your friends that you see at every convention and meeting new people that you've never met before.
Cooper asks if that's a number 7 size brush you're using.
No, this is a 0 size. This is a Rosemary and Company size 0. It's a Series 99 from them, which is their red sable brushes.
Sometimes your hat covers up your page, honey.
Yeah.
Emma and Keith have had the same experience where they don't see each other for a long time, for years, and then see each other
At conventions.
at a convention. Yeah. The arms, I'm appreciating how Adam Warren drew Ghost's arms, and that just that little bit of fat right there where the arm and the chest meet.
Oh, you're right there?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's really well done.
If you follow Adam Warren on, where does he post at? I guess Instagram. I think he's posting on Kara now, but I don't know for sure. He does a lot of figure drawing, like studies and stuff that are really, really good.
Nice. Hi, Alpha Llama Llama.
Yeah, hey, Alpha Llama Llama.
This is it Ghost Engine 13?
It
just says Ghost on
the page. That is a very good question. I think I don't know if he did this just for this inking book, or if it was for
a real comic.
A real book.
Mm-hmm. Tugboat just noticed the pencil holder on your hat and says it's brilliant.
Oh, yeah. These ape and bird hats are fantastic. They have a little pencil holder. They've got this really nice, like, soft brim.
And it's a hat that fits a head. It's not intended to have, like, a ton of room in the top of it. Reminds me of the baseball cap I got when I was in kindergarten in the 70s, where I convinced my way into getting into the boys club in kindergarten, and that because I wanted a red baseball cap that was that shape. I have not figured out how to allow links in this chat. I keep forgetting to look up how to do that. But I'll see what I can do, even if it's not an actual link.
Yeah, I don't know the context of. They don't really say like what he penciled this for. They might say earlier, but I think they. Yeah, I don't know.
There we go. It's ape, the letter N instead of the word and. So apeinbird.com.
Yeah. Handmade in Rhode Island?
I got it up. Let me see. Yeah, you got it. Handmade in Rhode Island. Pawtucket. It sounds like someone cussing and trying to get away with it.
And they're like numbered. So this is 8,800
of that style hat, but the only one that says comic books.
I think that might be of all their hats.
Oh.
Yeah, and I had them custom embroidered to say comic books because I'm a dork.
Because you're cool.
Differing opinions.
No, nerds are cool. No.
No.
Imagining having a ponytail up that high when your hair's that short is cracking me up. Nerds are cool now that we're adults, but not so much when we were in middle school, Keith says about himself when he was in middle school. But I'm sure many people have had that experience. I know I did. Pippi thought it said cosmic books at first instead of comic books.
That would be a good name for a comic book shop.
Yeah, I was just thinking that too. It sounds very much like a comic book shop. Oh, hello, Jim. Welcome. I missed that until I saw everyone saying to hi to Jim. I had to look
Hi,
up
Jim.
and see who that was.
Yeah, Keys, me too. I would be surprised if there wasn't already a Cosmic Books.
Mark says, I just remember going to animation class at university that first time and discovering a room full of nerds. It was fantastic.
I didn't say hi to Mark. How you doing, Mark?
Oh, I didn't say hi to Mark either. We're a bunch of jerks over here. Hi, Mark.
Yeah, it took me, when I got into comics, it took me a little while to figure out that you could actually just like talk comics to anybody in comics and they would like know what the hell you were talking about, which was an experience I hadn't had very much of before that.
I forgot that ghosts could pass through walls, and my brain was trying so hard to figure out what was going on.
Oh, with her legs.
I thought she was kneeling down, but then I was all, why is she kneeling down? Edie says he was 5'10" in middle school and a huge Monty Python and comic book nerd. He didn't get teased because he was too intimidating for people. Little did anyone know that he could be bought with a bag of jelly babies.
Oh man, that would in middle school. Like I'm 5'10" now. In middle school, I was probably like 5 foot.
We have a neighbor that was probably that height in middle school too, and he looked older, not just his height, but he just looked older than he was. And that, I always wonder how hard that is for a kid, because I'm sure you get treated like an adult at times when you should be treated
Yeah.
like people should remember that you're a kid. What was I looking up? Was I supposed to be looking up something?
I don't remember.
Oh, I'm looking up what Dark Times a Comin' is.
What is your advice to comic artists in this wild time of social media, AI, and bad clients wanting to pay $40 per comic page? Ooh, well, I guess my first advice is if somebody wants to pay you $40 for like a finished comic book page, I would just walk away. Because they will, they're already trying to take advantage of you. And they're gonna, if you let them take advantage of you for $40, they will take advantage of you for other stuff.
Yeah.
Social media stuff is wild. Like when Twitter, like when Elon Musk bought Twitter, I was um, very hesitant to delete my Twitter account because it was pretty big. Like I had like I was this close to having like 10,000 followers on Twitter.
Mm.
Um, and but getting rid of it like was so liberating.
You got fewer of those questions. Will you do this for $40? You got fewer of those kinds of questions of people trying to take
Oh no,
advantage
that's
of
like
you
just a
for.
sort of a different topic.
Oh,
Like,
sorry.
because they asked how, what's your advice for comic artists in this wild time of social media?
Oh, AI and bad clients wanting to pay $40 per comic page.
So, and I do not know how to navigate social media going forward. Like, I definitely feel every social media is giving diminished returns. Even Kara, I don't think is like gonna be a like a long-term solution for any of this stuff. I think
For
this
one thing, it's the only people that are seeing it are other artists and creators.
that's I don't think that's true. Like I definitely know that there's a lot of comic book editors on there already.
Mm-hmm.
Because I mean their job is to like go where the artists are and find artists.
Yeah.
Or at least that's part of their job.
But if you're looking to sell your comic books,
yeah, if you're trying to promote like to the public, it's not going to be necessarily the best place. Yeah, it's not like it's not an Instagram replacement because it just is it's just a different thing. Um, but yeah, like I think everyone is really kind of struggling with social media stuff because it is like um, it's like all these social media companies have captured the audience and not given any benefits to anybody. like the only company or the only people that are benefited by Instagram is Instagram.
Honey, your hat is getting more
sorry.
and more in front of the camera for longer.
And I've been kind of trying to build my newsletter as a reaction to the bad social media stuff, but I suck at writing newsletters. Like it's just a
well,
job
when
that
have
I
you had time though?
yeah, I know that's the problem with it is like
lately I've
everything's
been
just a
super
time
busy.
suck. Like, and every time these companies change their policies, it's like it just costs me time and energy
Yeah.
trying to figure out like how to run a business around them.
Around AI.
Yeah, and AI is like one of those things where like even AI generated images cannot replace artists. They they just are like enshittification machines, you know, like they don't, when a company decides to replace an artist with an generative AI stuff, they're not replacing the artist, they're just deciding that they're going to have bad art from now on, or at least bad images from now on. So it's not like I don't know. I got mixed feelings about that. Like long term, I'm not really scared about it, but I think in the short term, it's going to cause a lot of pain for a lot of people until
It's gonna.
all these people who run these companies, you know, can finally admit that they've made a mistake and can go back to having humans do stuff.
That unfortunately means that some people aren't going to be able
Hey.
to keep doing comics, though.
Yeah, yeah.
We're
Hey,
gonna
Gary,
miss them.
it's good to see you, man. Gotta bounce. Hope we get to see you ink that leather jacket in the next panel. I know. I'm scared of this leather jacket, actually. Like, look at this thing.
It's the most detailed thing on the page.
Yeah.
So, people are enjoying Kara. It's or Kara, however it's pronounced. It's been a joy to see. $40 is way undervaluing of the amount of work and skills that go into it. But then her of today asked what is an appropriate price for a single finished page.
That's a good question.
Yeah.
So if you're talking about like a man, that's a good question.
It depends on
Like,
a lot.
yeah, it depends on
Is it colored digitally
or is it like, are we talking about like a finished colored page where you're doing penciling, inking, and color, or doing painted artwork, like what I do?
and then are you doing lettering as well?
Like, I would say that for a finished page, even just black and white, like the cheapest you should ever, like that anyone should ever get paid is like $100 at the absolute bottom. And even that's like not enough to.
How long a work are we talking for just the bare minimum?
Like how many
just
hours?
the inking, yeah.
That's a. I think that you should not ever, like, you should have your hourly rate as like a something that you keep in mind, but that's not how you should charge, because if you're faster, you should actually charge more than if you're slower. So if you do work it out purely hourly, then the faster you are, the less money you make. Yeah, I don't know. Like, I'm actually way better. Like, I hate talking about money directly on the internet because
for one thing, things are going to change pretty quick.
things change, and also because just so many people I'm not saying anyone here will do this, but someone will eventually come along and um, intentionally misconstrue things or whatever, and so it's hard to talk about money. Um, but yeah, like if you're drawing, like if you did a comic book in a month, if you did a 22-page comic in a month, you should be able to make a living doing that. You should be able to buy your food, pay your rent, um, you know, pay all your utilities and everything, and have some money left over. So whatever that ends up being.
22 pages in a month.
Although I will
that's
say,
fast, isn't it?
Yeah, that is fast.
If you're doing all the coloring and lettering as well.
Yeah, I will say though that my very first book, Petrograd, I did not get paid that. I did not make a living wage on it, and for me it was that was okay
because you had
I had a
job that was already paying the bills. Yeah,
and I wasn't like under any sort of like strict deadline or anything like that.
No, it took you like 2 years to finish it.
It took me 2.5 years, and that was like the piece of the puzzle that I needed to get all my other jobs. Like I got my job doing B.P.R.D based off the strength of my
the strength of your Rasputin.
Of my Petrograd stuff, yeah. So if I hadn't have done that, I wouldn't have gotten B.P.R.D, which did pay a living wage. Ugh. This is where I hate this paper. I don't know if it's showing up, but it's like bleeding just a little bit. Both that fine liner and the nib are just bleed. Which stinks that like they're the paper that they want you to practice inking with.
They didn't choose a better paper.
You can't do it. It's like it works great with a brush, but just not with anything else on here.
Dylan says a podcast that he listens to, the Artcasters, did a episode on AI. It's their 420th, the 420 episode.
Oh yeah.
Did you listen to that?
No, I didn't, but I did see that comment.
Rudek points out if you're charging $100 for the page, but it takes you 8 hours to do it, you're making $12.50 an hour.
Yeah.
Tugboat is asking about Hellboy, the Hellboy commission.
Yes. What about it?
He's asking if you showed it. You have not shown it yet.
Oh no, I have not. I haven't actually done any more work on that.
There's no new updates on that particular page.
Yeah, the getting the new cabinets 2 weeks ago opened up a can of worms. Where I got I didn't rearrange the whole studio, but I did like.
You did so much cleaning in here. It looks amazing.
And I like relocated everything.
Mm-hmm. And so instead
like
of
all my tools,
working on that commission, you did some.
Yeah,
some
did like studio infrastructure stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Like you can't tell, but this tabletop down here is brand new. It looks basically the same as the previous one, just not so covered in ink. Oh, nice. Got Petrograd on the shelf. Yeah, conversation about money is a labyrinth. Like I'm at a point now where I know how much I need to make um, on a book, like what my advance needs to be for me to be able to live, and I have wiggle room within that because there's money to be made off royalties, um, and if I'm confident that I could make royalties off a book, then the advance doesn't quite have to be so high. Um, but I almost always try to never depend on royalties because they're never guaranteed. Um, and like ownership is something I keep in mind when I'm working out pricing.
I think the zoom needs to be fixed, honey.
Right. Oh yeah, I'm zoomed in a little too much. Yeah, royalties are great um, if you can get them. It's really hard. Most of my books have never paid royalties. Um, Petrograd has paid a little bit. Um, Harrow County has paid a lot of royalties. That book is still doing really well, even though it like a new one hasn't like we haven't come up with any new stories for um, 2 years, 3 years. I don't
The
remember.
tales
Yeah, I don't
are
remember
still.
when those came out. When the Tales from Harrow County came out. Um, yeah,
Harrow County is maybe your best royalties.
yeah. Harrow County is by far my best royalties. Um, but like the stats on that are so like dismal. It's like I don't know how it is exactly for comics, but among like book publishers, uh, it's something like 80% of books never make royalties. Yeah, Mark, me too. I want to see
Tales from Harrow County, yeah.
more Tales from Harrow County. I want more art by Emily Emily Schnall. She's so good. And I don't know what she's working on nowadays. I hope she's making more comics. I think she was teaching for a while, but I don't know if she's teaching anymore. And Naomi Frank is, I think, working on a graphic novel right now. Her work is amazing also. Yeah, me too, Mark.
Hero says, thanks for sharing. No money talk is always weird.
Yeah. See you later, Keith. Thanks for popping by. See you next Friday.
Hope you have a great week and weekend.
Yeah, I think I might be getting ready to call it a night my own self.
Yeah, you've gone a long time. It's almost
Yeah.
8:30.
Yeah, this panel is really like taking a lot. I haven't even done like any of these speed lines or hardly any of the cracks back in there.
Thank you, Pippi. Don't forget to like the stream if you like it. Marx says, if you ever have a guest artist on Men Are Black, he thinks Naomi would be fantastic.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, she would destroy that.
Cooper says we need to go reward ourselves with some Deep Space Nine.
Yeah, that's actually, as soon as I'm done here, we're going to
nice.
hit the couch with some DS9. And
I have 15 minutes left on Doctor Who, on the new Doctor Who episode.
I'll let you finish that while I cook my popcorn.
Thank you. I am really enjoying the new Doctor Who. I don't know who else is, but I'm pretty sure this is my favorite Doctor. And the Space Babies weirded me out, but the last 3 or 4 episodes have been great. You too, ED. Oh, Emma, yeah, rewarding yourself with The Expanse, that's another good one.
Oh, yeah.
Rudak says popcorn is one of the best things in life.
It really is. It's remarkably good.
I have added corn back to my diet and I have not been trying popcorn. Maybe I will reward myself with a little bit of popcorn. Cooper's going to start watching the new Doctor Who this weekend. Been hearing a lot of good things. Yeah. Yeah, this actor is great. And the writers writing for Ncuti Gatwa are doing a really good job. Like I said, I really like the last 3 or 4 episodes. Ever since for me, it started with Boom or 73 Yards. I can't remember which one came first, but one of those was the first one where I was all, oh, this is so good. Hey, Comic Tropes. Yes, things are cooling down.
Yep. You made it in here with all the rest of the cool downers.
Mm-hmm. The cool kids. Oh my gosh. Is that our name?
The cool downers?
The cool kids.
No, we're the cool downers.
Oh, the cool
We're
downers.
Cool, but we're totally downers.
Tyler's been inking some Adam Warren Ghost and and we are really cool. We've talked about how nerds are cool once you're an adult.
I don't know if this is a universal thing, but I remember a buddy of mine telling me about a conversation he had with his son who was on the football team and in band.
Uh-huh.
And he was asking his son, isn't there a jocks and a problem with being in the band and being a jock too? And his son looked at him and was like, Dad, we don't do that anymore.
I hope that's very true.
Me too. I kind of doubt that that's true because I think it depends on the school, but
or maybe someone who is already a jock is going to have less of a hard time being picked on for being a band nerd. So there's a suggestion of being the children of Eeyore were the cool downers.
The children of Eeyore.
Cool downers. And Rudak did a very cute little emojis. One has the sunglasses and one has the nerd glasses. Because glasses are nerdy. Meaning they're cool.
A Violent Nature. Is that a movie? Yeah, Cooper, same here. Comics were not cool when I was a kid.
No, not when I was young either. Times have changed. I hope they improve in that regard. Comic Tropes never felt comfortable talking about his love of comics in high school. And now you have not just one, several.
Yeah, now you won't shut up about it.
Oh no, Mark!
Food stains.
Oh, Mark says,
jeez.
some of my old comics have food stains on them from when they were thrown in the bin and I had to fish them out. That is mean. I am so sorry, Mark.
Yeah, comic strips. It's great how like kids are into all this comic book stuff nowadays. I wish they would actually read more comics though. I think it's I mean, I'm sure you're well aware how it isn't translating as much to reading comics as it should. All right. Well, I think I'm like inked out.
You almost finished that whole panel.
I almost did. I just do not have it in me to try to tackle these speed lines and everything.
So one panel took an hour and a half.
That's not too bad.
It's not too bad, but just like we were talking about money and time and just inking one page.
Yeah, it looks okay. Like I don't think my lines are quite as steady as Adam Warren's pencils are kind of calling for. Like they're a little bit like, I don't know, shaky or something. But I like that. Like I don't think they should hire me to ink this book, is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
But I'll do it for free on YouTube. Thanks, ED. Yeah, the digest-sized OGN seems to be the format of choice. That's that 6x9 inch.
Which is a very comfortable size in your hand.
Very good size, yeah. No, I totally agree. I think that is a superior size to the oddly nothing else is comic book sized other than comics. All right, everybody. I think I'm going to call it a night.
It was great hanging out with y'all.
Yeah, thanks so much for coming by and hanging out. And I hope you have a chill time. You're welcome, Rudak. Good to see you. Good night, Dylan. Thanks, Emma. I hope I do. It's supposed to rain tomorrow. I don't know. It's not gonna. I don't think it's gonna rain too bad, but I don't know.
Yeah.
See you, Gary.
Don't forget to tell the people that you love them.
Yep, and I love all you guys. All right, have a good weekend and have a good week. I'll see you next Friday.
Bye, everybody.